business model. And so in 2019, I ended up going public on the Canadian Security Exchange. And that was the first time we've ever raised $1.
Okay. Because normally we see it on like TVs, or we just hear somewhere that, oh, this guy, he's a big shot.
But see, Kiran, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said he's not afraid.
He's not
The
afraid.
fear was not afraid. In other words, he believes enough in himself.
I built an entire organization structure model first to see how many employees I'm going to need to be at whatever scale I want to be at. Just like even today, I feel like I'm still capped, and so I continue to see growth, self-development, and so. But in the beginning, I do believe in proof of concept.
Proof of concept. That way investors can trust you. Hey, it will be a good opportunity for people who are looking to invest hands off. And if you come up with a package wherein people can invest, like how Grant does. Then how about other states? I know some new states are opening up. Like I just heard that North Carolina is just opening for medical marijuana. Today I'm so excited.
How excited are you?
Very excited. Normally I'm excited to talk to Vincent, but bringing Ty to the mix is like fire.
Yeah.
I know this guy and he's an extremely hard worker. The only place that you see success before work is dictionary, they say.
Right.
This guy can overwork. I mean, really, really work hard. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Ever since I've known Ty, he's always worked very, very hard. And he's always thinking, he's not only does he work hard, but he's smart. He works very smart.
For people who don't know Ty, this is how I see Ty and Hillary. We've been business partners on ventures 15 years ago. And I was a novice at business. Ty was a novice at business. But he works so hard that he puts my work ethic to shame. And he worked so hard, and he's become so big in the medical marijuana industry. And he's considered one of the people who knows a lot about that industry.
He's actually one of the pioneers, right? You consider yourself one of the pioneers?
Yeah, they consider me the godfather.
Yeah, because when you first started, there was nothing out here.
I'm the second one to open in Phoenix, Arizona.
You're the second one, not only the second one, this guy actually built this business vertically from the ground up, everything.
So that's why if people want to think that, oh, Kiran is a big real estate guy or a mortgage guy, Vincent is a big financial planner, we know that we've done a lot of deals, and we are here, and Ty is like, there. So that's how we compare.
Well, actually, he's about like a rock. But like I said, Ty, I'm sure you'll agree. What the difference was is not only does he work hard, he works very smart, and he's not afraid. You see, a lot of times in business, people have fear. Where when I look at this guy, he has no fear when it comes to business, right?
Yeah.
So
I think I'd take a lot less.
Introduce yourself. Like, how would you introduce yourself? Where you started? I think we need to everybody needs to hear this guy's story. He's younger than me, and he's worth a lot more than me in knowledge, experience, and of course, net worth too. So tell me where you started, and we want to hear the entire thing.
Okay, so I'll start with my childhood. So in 1993, at that time I was 13 years old, and my father asked me, well, no, I shouldn't say ask, he forced me to go to work with him as one of his child, because I got into trouble, and he's like, okay, this can't continue to happen. So pulled me away, worked at the auto shop for free until 1998. I was 18 years old, and he paid me my first paycheck, which was $100 a week. I go, damn, that's enough for right now. And so, but what I've learned, I think through the process, is that for my dad paying me that low, it allowed me to become more creative, to make other monies on the side. And so what I was doing is I would buy cars at the auction. I would take it back to the shop after hours and then work on it, fix it, and then flip it. And so all through high school, that's what I was doing to be creative. And from then I've created a bunch of other companies. So I've been in the automotive industry, I've been in the contracting industry, I've been in mortgage industry, real estate industry, finance industry.
It keeps forgetting we have to brought other industry. Go ahead.
And the cannabis industry. So I've been through quite a bit, and I'm probably missing a bunch of other businesses in between. only because I've started so many and so many have lost and, it went out of business. So, so I've learned through a lot of my mistakes of these businesses. And so as my business started growing in every industry, I think really the catapult was the cannabis space. And so I started the cannabis business in 2012 when I was awarded a license in the state of Arizona. Bootstrapped the company. I sold all of our real estate holdings back in 2012 when we were awarded the license, and put 100% of everything into this business. When I say everything, I mean the kids' college fund. We cleared out the 529 plan. I got rid of a lot of the insurance, or I cashed out a lot of insurance on the loan basis. We sold my wife's wedding ring. We sold my watches. We sold all of our jewelry just to pay payroll and to make payroll in this business. And so bootstrapping it and doing what I could just to sustain the business model, because I really did believe I had both foot in. I was all in into this business model. And so in 2019, I ended up going public on the Canadian Security Exchange. And that was the first time we've ever raised $1. And since then, now we operate in 6 different states. We have facilities all around the country now. But yes, we're vertically integrated.
Yeah, man, I get goosebumps. Yeah. See my goosebumps? His story is so incredible to me, because normally we see it on like TVs, or we just hear somewhere that, oh, this guy, he's a big shot, he's got lucky or whatever. You think it's happening somewhere else. But here, I work with Ty day in and day out. We used to sit side by side and he used to brainstorm ideas. You remember, you forgot about the MLM that you tried to build, and working with all these developers. Then you're doing SEOs. And I've seen you operate closely at that time. Then when we did the loan mod software, you were my partner then. Yeah. I've watched you closely, how you do it. And then I'm just blown away with the risk taking. Like, how can you go sell all your real estate? That time, if you would have just decided that, oh, I just need passive income of $20,000, you probably already had it. You had a lot of real estate. You had commercial buildings, you had residential buildings, good house, good car. You could have said, I don't need to take the risk. What's your train of thought? Like, how did you have that intuition?
But see, Kiran, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said he's not afraid.
He's not afraid.
The fear was not afraid. In other words, he believes enough in himself that he's willing to take that chance. But for you, especially when you've gone through a lot of different mistakes and you've done things, I think it's more of a calculated risk.
Back then, when I was younger, I used to shoot a lot from my hip. Ever since the cannabis business, it taught me a lot, especially when I started bringing executives on board, like such as our CFO, COO. They taught me a lot on how to look at performance projections and plan before you actually execute. And so everything I do now and any of my business ventures, I run full performance, understand the organization structure before I even move in, putting $1. So what I mean by that is I build an entire organization structure model first to see how many employees I'm going to need to be at whatever scale I want to be at. I run a pro forma on how much that's going to cost me, and then what my potential profit is going to look like, and is that worth getting into or not? So
it sounds logical. Yeah, but we struggle. When I say we, I personally struggle taking a risk. When me and my wife, we resigned from Intel. That was the biggest risk I ever took in my life. When you look at big scheme of things, between me and my wife, that's just $200,000 in annual income. And that's really nothing compared to what the risk that you took. You just sold everything, fire sale, and then you jumped into this.
Yeah, I think growing up, being poor helps with that mindset, because at the end of the day, if you lose everything, we just go back to poor.
Oh, yeah. So even if you lose everything, we can go back to poor and start rebuilding. You had that mindset.
I remember a time when my dad told me, I called him up because when I was in my 20s, I opened up a restaurant. I had a deli, and I used to import wine from Italy. I was getting ready to open up another restaurant right across the street. And my dad said, and I called up my dad because I was concerned. I was a little worried. Here I am going to open. I was like 24, 25 years old. So I said, Dad, I'm thinking of opening up another restaurant, but I'm nervous. What do you think? He says, well, son, when you left home, what did you leave with? I said, nothing.
Nothing.
He says, what do you have to lose? I said, nothing. and that's what inspired me to keep going forward. You know, and again, you know, you coming from your dad coming from Vietnam with very little to come to this country, and watch him build a business, raise a family, do those type of things is really a great foundation for you to learn from.
Absolutely.
You know, you coming from India with nothing. You said you had a little bit of money in your pocket, but not a whole lot, right? But
I said $10 in my pocket, but $10,000 in my bag. What you did that I didn't do is a lot of my clients and my friends asked me, hey, you became a millionaire in real estate. You were my colleague at Intel. You never told me how to invest. I always thought, oh, I'm being a sales guy trying to rob somebody in to buy because I believed in the product. And I never marketed myself to my friends thinking that they might think I'm a sales guy. You, on the other hand, you actually asked me if I wanted to be part of your business, medical marijuana business. Then you're doing your Texas redevelopment project. You asked me, hey, Kiran, would you be part of this project? You were excited and you invited me. How did you build that loyalty?
how do you generate that?
Yeah.
Is question.
I think it's from just being genuine and being myself. I don't try to be somebody I'm not. I don't force things on people. I allow them to use their own creative imagination and try to implement the things that we do. And so I like to call it as empowering people to their own. Everybody has leadership in them. It's just how do you bring it out?
Right.
And by empowering them and giving them the confidence that their creativity can succeed. And so I think by allowing that, it gives them, Vincent, you probably, just like in my earlier days, right after the auto shop, I didn't even believe in myself.
Right.
And so when you came along and you brought me into World Financial Group, pushing me on the stage and helping me talk to people, I understood that sometimes it takes somebody to see something in you that you don't even see,
right.
and it opens you up, right? And so it's a very simple.
And that's what I love most about all of this is that I remember Ty during those days getting up and speaking in front of the team. And then at the very beginning, it was very timid, very nervous. But, little by little, I could see him coming out of his shell. It was amazing. And then after a while, I couldn't get him off the stage.
Just like even today, I feel like I'm still Cap. And so I continue to see growth, self-development, and meeting other people at a complete different scale. And so it helps me understand that I can do more. And so hence why I created Yellowstone, which is a real estate land development company in 2020. And then our next big move would be the luxury behavioral health residential facilities.
Current project, like what's keeping you busy these days? So the cannabis establishment is settled, and are you going to expand to other states or just?
Yeah, so that side, I sit on the board as a chairman. And so I have an entire executive team that runs the entire business. So I'm, in terms of operation, 99% hands off. Great. So I don't do a whole lot of decision there because, everybody's doing what they need to do, and that's very successful.
Are you looking for other investors to invest into your company?
No, not right now, because we have all the investors that cover all of our projects. But in future phases or future projects, yes. After understanding of capital raises, I found that's really the only way you can scale your business. You only have so much cash that you can do yourself. But in the beginning, I do believe in proof of concept.
Proof of concept. That way investors can trust you. Hey, this guy, he's in cannabis business. Now he says land development. We don't know how he's going to do. But we know fundamentally you are a good business guy with terrific ethics. So you've run automotive shops to MLMs to WFG to mortgage, real estate, and people can understand. People can see the trend, and it will be a good opportunity for people who are looking to invest hands off. And if you come up with a package wherein people can invest, like how Grant does, wherein you syndicate the money and everybody is a limited partner into your company,
right?
And you execute it, a lot of people will be very interested to invest in a successful business person with a good project. I think
it's important to have a track record.
It's very important. Then How about other states? I know some new states are opening up. Like I just heard that North Carolina is just opening for medical marijuana. So if there are investors who want to invest there, would your company be willing to entertain or consult with somebody who says, okay, they want to invest in this new state and it's just starting, right?
Yeah, we're constantly always looking for deals. I think it's important to understand, like in the cannabis space, is that we've learned through some of the mergers and startups in other states, such as Oklahoma. And Oklahoma was a terrible decision for us because it had unlimited license, so anybody can cultivate, have extraction lab and dispensary. So now every corner has a dispensary. So when you do that, supply and demand obviously goes up, right? And so there's not a lot of margins. Whereas such as Arizona limited license, Ohio limited license, and so you can really take advantage of that.
So when you say limited license, people want to know about this cannabis business. At least they want to understand. So limited license in the sense only few people have the ability to grow the plants and then extract and then make it like a publicly marketable product. While other license, like you can, multiple people can have dispensaries that this limited license can supply to the dispensary. Did I summarize it right?
Yeah. Limited just means that the state only will issue so many licenses per capita, right? So you want to make sure you're not. Let's just, for example, when we started in Arizona, it was 100 license. It's up to about 150, I believe. So that's still a good number, and it allows everybody to still make a profit. Whereas when you have Oklahoma, thousands.
Oh,
right. So now you're competing heavily with each other, and you're driving price down, and it's a race to the bottom. And so, and I think that goes with all industries. And so you got to be creative and think outside the box. If you are gonna go into an industry that has unlimited of whatever, just like in any business, you got to find your strength and your weakness, areas that you can really strive.
So,
okay. So I have one last question. Coming back to the capital requirements, let's say like new states are coming. I know Arizona, you're the leader here. I don't think any new person can come in and try to dominate not a saturated, but limited market in Arizona. You have limited licenses. There are a lot of virgin states wherein they're just starting to open up. So there, if somebody has to do the setup, you said it's going to cost 40 million, or there are like any slabs wherein they can just do a dispensary, it might be cheaper, anything like that.
Yeah. So a lot of states, that's what they issue, one single license. So they'll issue a single dispensary license, a single cultivation license, an extraction license. So there's multiple licenses. So that's why I said we got lucky in Arizona, because they gave it all to us under one license. So it allowed me to become an expert in every vertical side, where a lot of companies in Arizona didn't. They only took the cultivation and leased out their lab or kitchen or their retail, or somebody just wanted just the retail and then license everything else out and just and get income off that. But for me, I didn't want that because I wanted to have maximum profitability through a vertical integration. But what that did was it taught me every aspect of the business model. So if I go into any state and we only got awarded, let's say, cultivation license, no problem. We know how to run that model, no problem. Run it efficient and profitability.
Okay. So technically, you are able to license your proof of concept to this new state, and those guys, if they want to reach you to see if you want to consult with them or franchise your model to them, you're open for that.
Absolutely. And that's what we did. In fact, that's how we started with Ohio.
Okay.
And so with Ohio, we had partners, and what we believe in is that not going into a state that we have no idea with employees, right? You don't know like the ownership. If let's say we went out there and did a greenfield and startup in Ohio, we knew nobody, no staff, no employees, no family. And if there was ever an emergency, who's going to take care of the business? So we believe in JV and partnering up with somebody that lives there, has family there. They have a network there. So if anything goes wrong, they can instantly fix it because they're our partner.
So for that, my extended question to that is, if somebody wants to start like a retail seems to be the lowest, like the first entry level, right?
Yeah, that's going to be easiest through all.
Easiest. So how much would be the approximate investment?
It's not going to be bad. So depending, if you get awarded by a license to the state, you could probably pick up less than $200,000 in the application process. That's if you get awarded.
Okay.
Now, to build a dispensary, you may need about not much, about $1 million, $1 million. Now, if you acquire a license, it's a different story. When you acquire a license, expect to spend a minimum of $5 million.
Oh, wow.
In the state of Arizona, just for the certificate, is $15 million.
Okay, assuming it's
Just for the certificate.
Just for the certificate.
Now, when they were originally issuing the licenses, what was that like? You didn't have to put down quite as much, right?
No, I got in. I invested $75,000 in the process, and it was literally like a Powerball where the ball pops up, and my number came up.
What's your exit strategy? Okay, coming back to that. So around 1.5 million can get you started with a retail dispensary in a state. That's an approximate, depending on the local rent and other PIs and all that. But around 1.5 million can get you started. So what's your exit strategy now that you have built an empire? What are you going to do?
So the market right now is down, like every other industry, but cannabis mainly is down.
Why? People are not taking drugs anymore? Or what? This is there.
What I believe is that when cannabis first started, there was a lot of blue sky, right? So a lot of made up fictitious numbers, and everybody's going after top line revenue. Whoever has the best top line is going to win. Yeah, that was true 5 years ago, even 3 years ago. But once they started looking at the numbers and start understanding, now a lot of investors now want to look at profitable companies, real operations, because anybody can push top line up and then make negative profits, right? So now the investors are looking, okay, we need sustainability. And now the industry is mature, and so the market got corrected. And so it's dropped, but we think in about 2 to 3 years, it'll get recorrected, because that's what typically happens in this industry that we've learned every 3 years. It's up and down, up and down. So we're hoping in the next 2 or 3 years, we should get to the number where we want to be at. And that's when I'll exit.
Okay. I'm very excited about what you bring to the table, to the community. And if somebody wants to reach out to you guys about partnering in other states or franchising or consulting, do you have a contact information that you can share?
Yeah, you can email me at Thai, THAI at vexscience.com. That's VEXTSCIENCE.
That's terrific. I'm so excited. We made time. We came in. Vincent, I appreciate your time also very much.
Always.
And do you have any closing comments on Thai?
I just think it's wonderful, and one of the biggest things that, I mean, if you want to take away something big from this event, is that you learn more from your mistakes than you do from your wins. And as long as you're not afraid to get out there and swing the bat, you're going to be okay. And Ty's not afraid to swing the bat, and he's swinging a pretty big bat.
I'm just blown away with the kind of bravery that Ty has, and then Hillary supports you also. I'm so impressed with everything you've accomplished, and I have my best wishes for you to go to even higher level. And thank you so much.
That's a good point. Hillary and him, I mean, it's just a very powerful combination.
Channel. Even of course, as a viewer, you subscribe or don't, you still get to see the content. But for content producer like me, you subscribing is important, because it's going to give more exposure to the content, and we'll have access to other tools that otherwise we don't. So thank you for watching. Thank you guys.
Absolutely.